Greetings. If you're watching this, it means that you've enrolled in a history class at Mountain View College. My name is Dr. Ryan Pettengill, and I'll be your professor for the semester. What I want to do with this video is introduce you to the course guidelines, requirements, and expectations. So, if you have not yet done so already, what I'd like you to do is put me on pause and go log into eCampus. Once you're there, I want you to click on our class and then click on Content. You'll see it on the left-hand side of your screen. Inside Content, there's a folder entitled Course Documents. You'll find a syllabus inside. Go ahead and print out the syllabus, or at the very least, download it and bring it up so that we can go through this together. Put me on pause and I'll be right back. Okay, so the first thing that we need to discuss is how you contact me. And the easiest and probably the fastest way to tell me something or ask a question is through email. Okay, you can see my email address at the top of that page of your syllabus, and I check that thing very regularly. If you get me a message between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Monday through Thursday, there's a very good chance that I'll respond the same day. After 3 and on the weekends are a little bit slower, but I can be reached at that point too. There is an office phone that you can call if you have an issue, and it's easier just to talk about it. I may or may not answer, but my office phone number is 214-860-3618. If you leave me a voicemail, there's a good chance that I could respond to that voicemail via email. Don't take it personally. Sometimes it's just easier for me to do that. The office itself is located at W243 on the campus of Mountain View College. I'm here typically in the mornings, but specifically Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. If those times are not going to work for you, you email me, let me know what will, and I'd be glad to accommodate you. 1301 is a history of early American life. What that means is we're going to begin our class in the time period before Europeans were carving up and colonizing the Western Hemisphere, and we're going to take it all the way to 1877. Now, right now, the year 1877 probably doesn't mean a whole lot to most of you, but by the time that we're done with our class, I promise you it will. Now, over the course of the next several weeks, we're going to be studying a lot of things, but in particular, we are going to be focusing on issues that involve Native Americans. We'll be talking about the process of industrialization and its impact on American life, reform movements, and in particular, the issue of chattel slavery. All of these things are ultimately going to help us interrogate the period under examination. Now, what I'd like to do next is talk to you about your required texts. Now, the book that you need very, very, very soon, and as a matter of fact you already have it, even though you may not know it, is this book right here, My Bondage and My Freedom by Frederick Douglass. Now, if your book looks like the one I just showed you, that's great, because all the page numbers will coincide, and it's going to be much quicker for you to take things that I have with these online discussions and help you use them in assignments and papers. If it doesn't look like mine, don't worry about it. If you can find it cheaper, I'm glad for you, and you should find it for cheaper. The only difference is the page numbers aren't going to sync up like they would if you had my edition. Okay, so get a copy of Douglass. I don't care where you get it or how you get it, and get it very soon. The next most important book is this big green book right here. It's entitled Documents for America's History. Now, you can buy the actual physical copy of it if you want to. It's going to run you about $15. Or you can buy the electronic version of it. They're exactly the same. I believe the ebook is a little bit less expensive, and obviously it saves you having to cart it around, and after all, this is an online class, and I'd like to think that it can be done in any part of the globe at any time of the day. So anyway, that's my thought for however little it's worth. The next most important book is this one right here, Sam Patch, the Famous Jumper. Now, just like Frederick Douglass, I've linked to a copy of that inside the online texts folder of eCampus. So click Content, and the second or third folder from the top should say Online Texts. You'll see a copy of both Douglas and Sam Patch inside. We're not going to be using Sam Patch for a little while, so if there's one book that you can put off buying right now, today, that would be the one. The last book that you need is the textbook, and it's entitled America's History. It looks like this. There's a variety of ways that you can do this when it comes to purchasing it. I would recommend the electronic version. The electronic version goes for approximately $60. It can be purchased at the Mountain View College bookstore. If you want, you can get the physical copy like the one that I showed you, but it's much, much more expensive. If you have an issue when it comes to finding a book, please don't hesitate to let me know, and I'll do my best to work with you and get you the information that you need. Now, I'm going to leave a lot of this information up to you when it comes to reading on your own. What I would like you to do now is flip down to page 3, and I want you to take a look at the course outline. What you will find is a week-by-week breakdown of what we're going to be talking about in here. But in addition, you're also going to find the assignments that are required for any given week. For instance, in week 1, I need you to read Documents for America's History, Chapter 1. I need you to read Chapter 1 of America's History, the textbook. I need you to watch a DVD series entitled Shaping America, and I need you to watch Lesson 1 of that, and I need you to start reading Frederick Douglass. Now, when I say start reading, I don't mean that you need to have it finished by Friday. I simply mean that you need to make meaningful progress in it. Now, you also have a quiz that's going to be due on August 28th. There will be a discussion forum that is due every Friday by 11:59 p.m. And I'll talk more about the discussion forums in a second. Before I move on, I would like to emphasize one more required piece of information. That is the Shaping America DVD series. You can get a copy of this by going to the Mountain View College Library. If you tell the librarian at the circulation desk that you're enrolled in my class in 1301, they should know exactly what you're talking about, and they will check that series out for you for the rest of the semester. If you can't make it into the library or you don't want to, I have also linked the website that will take you there online. So, for instance, for week 1, what you would do is log into eCampus, click on Content, and open up the Shaping America Videos folder. Inside is a web link. Click it, it'll take you to what you would see as a main menu if you were watching a DVD. Click on Lesson 1 and watch it. It's approximately a half hour long, and that will fulfill the requirement for this week. The rest of the weeks are relatively the same. What I would like to point out is you need to refer to the course outline when it comes to important dates and deadlines for the class. The papers are spelled out very clearly when they're due, as are the exams. What I'd like to do next is talk to you about the evaluation procedure. There are 5 points to this class, and the first one is participation. In a class like this, participation is key, but it's also a challenge considering it's online. So to that end, what I'm going to have you do is participate in what I call discussion forum questions. Each week you'll be asked a question, a very open-ended, broad question, and in a lot of cases, opinionated question. To participate with this question, all you do is click on the discussion button, which is right underneath content, and you'll be taken to the discussion forum. For week 1, click on discussion forum 1, read through the question, and then upload your answers in the box. Please keep in mind that this is going to require you to read through Chapter 1 of your big green book, your Documents for America's History book, and use it to help you answer that question. The other thing I'd like you to keep in mind is I really would like this to become a conversation between you and your classmates. To that end, what I expect is that you'll engage the thoughts and the opinions of your classmates and not just simply talk to me by answering my questions. Like I said, each week the end of each week, which is Friday, you'll be responsible for a discussion forum question. The next point are your quizzes. Now, the quizzes are open book, which means that you can work on them with the book in front of you, or you can work on that with somebody else, as long as I don't get a word-for-word replica of their response. The quizzes will typically ask you to refer to a specific document and use that document to answer an open-ended question. The way that I grade these is I look and see, did the individual actually read the document? If it's clear to me, then that's a good thing. Did the individual actually engage the central question? If both of those answers are yes, typically I will award 3 points out of a possibility of 3 points. You're going to see 5 of these quizzes over the course of the semester. Each of them are worth 3 points for a grand total of 15% of your cumulative grade. There will be 2 papers. Paper 1 will be based heavily off of Frederick Douglass, which is why I'm pushing you so hard to begin the reading of Frederick Douglass. Each of these papers are going to be worth 10% of your cumulative grade. And what they're going to ask you to do is take a variety of information, mainly from the Douglass and Sam Patch books, and use it as a jumping off point to answer a broader, deeper question. You will have more specific information when it comes to what each of these paper assignments entail as the semester, as the due date gets closer. There are 2 exams in this class. There's a midterm and a final exam. Each of them are worth 25% of your cumulative grade. They consist of a combination of multiple choice, short answer essay, and 1 long answer essay question. And once again, you'll know much more about the finer details as we get closer to the due dates of those exams. The grading scale is underneath the evaluation procedures. Please note that I don't grade on a curve. Obviously, if somebody has a 71.555559, I generally round up to a 72. But I also need you to understand that I don't employ the close enough is good enough method when it comes to assigning grades. I'm going to allow you to read through the syllabus on your own time when it comes to the make-up work policy, the withdrawal policy, and the financial aid policies. The one thing I want to leave you with before we go is that last section, academic honesty, or maybe more appropriately, academic dishonesty. I'm sure that you've all heard the word plagiarism before, the idea of taking somebody else's work or thoughts and presenting them as your own without giving credit to them. We know that this entails academic theft, but all too often it goes unpunished on campuses throughout the United States. I'd like you to know that I take this issue incredibly serious, and if you are caught plagiarizing any assignment, be it a quiz, paper, or an exam, the very least that will happen to you is that you'll fail that assignment. The very worst is that you'll fail the course, and your name will be reported to the Vice President of Instruction. Please understand that I'm not threatening anyone. I just want us to be on the same page. To really get you to focus on what plagiarism is and how you can avoid committing it, I have incentivized this. Inside the Week 1 assignment folder, you will see a link to Indiana University's Writing Center. And if you click it, it'll ask you if you'd like to take a 10-question quiz regarding the recognition and avoiding of plagiarism. If you complete the quiz successfully, it'll ask you if you want to print out a certificate. Go ahead and print that out and upload it in the folder entitled Recognized Plagiarism Extra Credit. If you do this by the end of the week, which in our case would be Friday, I will award you 1% of extra credit points. Okay? So there is a reason for getting on the, or there's a very lucrative reason for getting on the same page when it comes to what plagiarism is and how you can avoid committing it. Please note that I reserve the right to change the syllabus at any time with advance notice. I see no reason that it should change, but in the case that it does have to, I will be sure that I let everybody know well ahead of time and make sure that everybody is okay, for the most part, with this change. That's all I've got for you. With that being said, I hope that their pencils have been sharpened and the glasses have been polished and everybody's ready to hit the ground running. If you have a question or a variety of questions, please don't hesitate to let me know. I'm looking forward to a very productive semester with each of you, and please don't be strangers. If there's something that I can do that would make your life easier in this class, I need to and want to know about it. That's it for now. Look for me a little bit later in the semester, and I'll talk to each of you later.